Hi, this is Eric with BC Gurus, and this is part 7 of web apps, and this video is going to cover search, which basically is all about searching web apps. When it comes to searching web apps, we're talking about specifically searching the content of your web app items, and there's two ways you can accomplish that. One is with the just generic site search, and if you're not familiar with that, it's basically a general website search that will search more or less all of the content on your site, and so you can include your web app items as results within that site search. More powerfully though, we have a specific web app search, and the reason this is more powerful and oftentimes more useful is it allows you to search on the specifics of your actual custom fields and have a little bit more control and relevance when it comes to your search results. There is a default search form that you get just by creating a web app, and it's very easy to place that form onto a page. And additionally, you can customize that search form, so a lot of the times you don't really want to include all of your custom fields as part of your search criteria. You can specify certain you can specify certain fields which are enabled for search, as well as pre-filling in values for the search form in case you want to configure a specialized search that will always include a certain value for a specific field. Sometimes, depending on your needs, that can be quite useful. And also with a web app search, you can do some neat things with date, time, and number fields where you can actually search a range. So if you wanted to look for items who had a date, a special date custom field, and you wanted to search items that fell within a range of dates, you could do that. Same with a number. I go back to our example search form here on our real estate listing site, and this is a web app search form that's been customized, and each web app item is a property that you can rent for a vacation, and they have a different number of bedrooms, bathrooms, how many people can sleep in them, and these are set up as data fields in the web app item as just a number. So we might have a property that can sleep 6 different people, and this will allow people to search for properties that can sleep, say, between 3 people and 9 people. And by using the number field type, I can set these fields up as a range. So the web app search, this is something that's unique to that and can provide quite a bit of power. When it comes to the search results themselves, you have a couple options. You can display the results on the same page that the search form exists on. You can also set up the search form so that it actually shows the results on a completely separate page. Sometimes you want that effect. The search results, the actual layout for the results, are based on one of your list templates for the web app, and you can specify on the results module whether or not you want to use the primary or the alternate list template. And optionally, as we kind of talked about in the previous video, you can show the results of search on a map as well if you've got the location and address fields enabled and populated. For the actual module, there's 2 modules that are relevant to search. One is the actual search form module. We'll talk about that, how you can customize it and optionally pre-fill fields in. And then there's also the web app search results module as well. So here we're back on a page we've created called search form, and this is just going to be a page that holds our form as well as the results. And to get this form, what you're going to want to do is first create the web app and define all the custom fields. And what this will do is when you put the search form module on a page by going to web apps and then do web app search form, it's going to include all of the necessary HTML form code for searching those custom fields. So if you were to put the form on the page and then add those fields, you'd have to reinsert this module to get all of the proper fields on there. So when you click insert on this, unlike a lot of the other modules, it's not actually going to put a module tag. It's just going to put the HTML code in here, and you can kind of see that. Now at the bottom, by default, it also includes the web app search results module, which actually is a module. If we come back to the module manager and open up web apps again, you will see that there is an actual module for web app search results, and that's what happened here. It's just it automatically included that module tag on the page, and you can leave that the default. You can put that on another page. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but I want to point out, if you insert the module for the results themselves, you have some options here. You can control again, row length, results per page, use backup template. For the search results, you can set them to use the primary or the secondary template, so that's where you would control that option. You can see if we actually go ahead and insert that module, it will create a slightly different version of that tag that indicates using the backup template. So we'll leave it for the default for now and take a look at this page. Now what's happening here is this first box is called keywords, and this is basically the primary search box, and it would allow you to search based on keywords in the item name. The category box, you didn't define a category field for your web app, but you get that built in, and so this allows customers to search based on a specific category. And you can customize this. You can remove this category box if you don't need it or want it. You can turn it into a regular drop-down list. These other ones, I have a min and max field for the date time. On this web app, I've created a field with a date time value type, so it holds a date, and because of that, by default, you get these min and max date time fields. And again, you can customize the HTML of this form and change the layout or whatever you need to do. Now what you can see here is it's created an input element for the name or for this custom field, and it's added this underscore min to it, and that indicates it's a minimum, and then the corresponding maximum search field has this underscore max. Sometimes you simply want to do an exact date match, and in those cases you would need to customize the form and remove this underscore max or the underscore min and just use one of these fields, and it would allow you to search for an exact match there. You can alternatively kind of check out the same HTML that's generated for these other values, things like the checkbox and the list fields, and again, by customizing the HTML, you could hide these fields and have a default value set on one of them, or a default checked item on one of these. That way you could configure a search page that always searched for items that had item 2 checked, and you could just hide that field from the user, and that would never be there. Alternatively, you can remove pretty much all of these fields, I guess, except maybe keywords, and even that I think you can remove. And what that will do is give you a much more simplified search form, and without having to actually fill in all these fields. But the default search form module includes them all, because that's really the only way to get the default form code, so you can have a starting place to customize. So if we were to just run a search here, let's load it back up with the default search values. We could call this item, and that's what we want to search for. When we search for that, we're going to get the single item that matches that name. We could have searched for just one, and that should give us the same result. Now we've only got one item in the search, so that's how that's showing up. Now a lot of the times you're going to want to move the search results to another page, and so I'm going to show you how to do that now. So in order to enable that scenario, all you need to do is remove that search results tag from this page, which I've done here, and then we've created another page, and we just call it search results, and this is a very simple page. All we've done is moved that same search results module and placed it on that page, and you just have to create and save that page, and that's all you really need to do. You will need to take note of this ID up here in the URL, which is the Business Catalyst page ID for this page that we currently have loaded up. So we're going to take that and copy it, and then on our actual search form itself, we're going to make a small customization to the HTML to indicate that we want to load that page for the results. And so we can get to that by switching the editor over to HTML view, and then you're going to want to come up to the very top line of your search form, which is going to start with this lesson sign and then form, and at the very end of it you're going to have this string where it says page ID equals module underscore OID, and that's basically what you get by default, and you just want to replace the module tag with the hard-coded ID of the page that has your search results on them. So we'll go ahead and update that page, and then we can come in here and reload our search form, and this time when we do a search for item, come down and click the search button, it's actually going to redirect us to a page up here. Now the URL isn't very pretty, but that's just kind of how BC search works in this case. So, but you can see the results just populate on this page, and again you have the option to specify using the backup list view template here if you prefer to use that for your search results.